The ore-rich veins of Iridian 4 glowed faintly through the hazy atmosphere, casting dull red light into the surrounding void. Above it loomed Defense Station Obsidian, a shadow among the stars. It had once been a jewel of the Outer Rim's defense network. Now it was little more than a forgotten outpost, manned by a skeleton crew and aging technology, perched on the edge of collapse. But to Captain Darius Vance, it was the last bastion between the Ivra Confederacy and the vulnerable core worlds beyond. Inside the command deck, the aftermath of battle lingered like a bad taste. The tactical displays showed wreckage from the earlier Ivra assault, including the shattered remains of a cruiser. Swarms of Obsidian's drone fighters had done their job. Barely. "That's one down," Lieutenant Simon Cade said, his voice taut. He leaned over the central console, eyes scanning telemetry. "But they'll be back. That wasn't a full strike." Captain Vance stood with his hands clasped behind his back, jaw tight. His eyes, dark with exhaustion, were locked on the swirling debris field outside the viewport. "I know," he replied. "This was a probe. They're testing our strength. Next time, they won't be so gentle." Vance turned from the display and moved toward the communication hub. With a few swift keystrokes, a secure channel flared to life. Moments later, the stern face of Rear Admiral Paul Wenceslas appeared in flickering blue light. "Admiral," Vance said without preamble, "we've repelled an initial Ivra attack and destroyed a cruiser. Iridian IV remains secure for now. But I need reinforcements. A battleship, maybe more. They're coming back." Wenceslas's expression barely changed. "Captain Vance, your situation is noted. But every frontline system in the quadrant is under siege. We're stretched thin. Reinforcements are unavailable at this time. Hold the line." "Sir?" "That's an order. Wenceslas out." The transmission cut, leaving a cold silence in its wake. Vance stood still, anger simmering beneath his calm. Cade watched him but said nothing. "You have the station," Vance finally said. "I'm getting a few hours of rest. Wake me at the first sign of movement." "Aye, Captain." Hours later. The klaxon screamed. Vance bolted upright in his quarters, instinct overtaking sleep. He was already halfway to the command deck by the time he fully processed the red lighting and blaring alerts. "Report!" he barked as he entered. Cade stood at the central station, face pale. "They're back, with a full armada and a battleship." Vance's eyes snapped to the tactical display. The Ivra fleet had doubled in size. Destroyers, raiders, and in the center of the formation, a massive warship bristling with ion cannons and plasma arrays. "Deploy all remaining drones," Vance ordered. "Focus on flanking craft. Slow them down." Waves of Obsidian's drones screamed into space, engaging the enemy in a dazzling ballet of light and death. Explosions flared like dying stars, but the Ivra pressed forward. "Shields down to 63%, Cade called. "Hull integrity holding. For now." "They're targeting our drone bays. Once they're gone, we're done." Vance scanned the systems, then froze. His gaze lingered on the ore processing modules tethered to the station. Originally designed for refining Iridian 4's raw material, they were loaded with volatile compounds and powered by industrial-grade energy coils. "Simon," Vance began slowly, "we can launch the processing modules. Reconfigure them for remote detonation." Cade stared. "Sir, if we do that, we lose the entire mining infrastructure. The planet is already lost if that battleship survives. Do it. Now." Reluctantly, Cade gave the order. A moment later, massive chunks of station architecture detached and arced toward the Ivra fleet. Seconds stretched into eternities. One hit a destroyer squarely. The explosion tore the ship in half. Another clipped a frigate, sending it into a spin before detonating. Fire and wreckage spiraled outward. But the battleship endured. Smoke streamed from its damaged flank, but it continued its advance. "We're out of time," Vance muttered. "Simon, initiate self-destruct protocols." Cade snapped around. "Captain." "No debates. If they board, they take the station, the codes, everything. We can't let that happen." "Then I'm staying with you." "No, you're leaving. That's an order." "Sir, I can't." Vance turned, steel in his voice. "Simon, you've done your duty. You survive. That's what matters now. You get out of here, you tell them what happened, and you make sure this sacrifice means something." Cade's voice cracked. "He always said the captain goes down with the ship. Not this time. This time, the captain holds the line."